Hello, you legendary people. Welcome to or welcome back to Lauren's Legends. Today's story is a very recent one that happened on February 23rd, 2022, and the court date is coming up on July 24th, 2023. With this being an ongoing case, I need to state that I am not an expert and everything in this video is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. I also need to give you a huge warning. We are going to be talking about some very gruesome details and substance abuse. If that is something that you cannot listen to, perfectly fine. Thank you for stopping by. Feel free to click out now. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive into this horribly gruesome case. I want to start out by saying that if you or anyone you know is currently dealing with heavy substance abuse, look up services that help in your area. There are so many free options out there. I think that was one of the leading major facts on how things went so bad in this situation. I am not saying that mental health isn't a factor. I just believe that the substances absolutely pushed our alleged killer in this case over the edge that she was barely hanging onto. Born Taylor Denise Cornando, she decided to change her name in 2018 to Taylor Schabusiness. I am just going to mind my own business on that one. I have read reports that last year her Facebook said that she was married to a man named Warren and he is locked up in prison. She also has a young toddler son, and from everything I could find, he was being raised by someone else, probably a family member, thank God. At the time the story takes place, Taylor was 24 and already had racked up an extensive record. She has many misdemeanors and felonies of all different kinds of offenses. She was actually on supervised probation and had an ankle monitor that she decided, no, I don't like that, and just cut it off. I am annoyed that it isn't like it is in the movies, where at the moment someone cuts off one, you immediately hear police sirens in the background coming for them. Taylor was not just going down a bad path with the law, but she was also taking about any substance she could get her hands on, and I could not list them all off because I don't want to get shut down, but it is the hardest of all the hard stuff. Yes, whatever you are thinking, she was doing them, and all together. These things being mixed can counteract and cause psychosis, among other things. It can also make you go through life like a zombie. During this time, she meets a quiet, meek guy named Shad. He was, unfortunately, fighting his own demons and quickly followed Taylor's every want and whim. They had been friends for a while, but they then began somewhat of a romantic relationship. Everyone that knew them and was later interviewed said that Taylor wore the pants and that she was very dominant over him. The following timeline that I am about to go through does have some holes in it, but this is the best that the Green Bay police have been able to put together thus far. Taylor reportedly went and picked up Shad around 9:30 p.m. on February 21st, 2022. This was also the last day that Shad's mother saw him alive. Taylor later said that she, Shad, and a friend went out and picked up some substances and went back to her apartment and did them. Sometime later, Taylor and Shad returned to Shad's mother's house and went down into the basement. Shad had his own kind of apartment there, and Shad's mother, her name is Tara, said that she heard them go down there in the early mornings on February 22nd, 2022, and that they never left the basement the entire next day. Taylor later stated that within minutes of being in the basement, The pair began doing and mixing many different substances again, after all the ones they had previously done earlier that evening. Again, warning, it is about to get dark. In the morning of February 23rd, Tara was awoken between the hours of 2:30 and 3 a.m., hearing rustling through the house. Then the door to the basement slammed, and then she heard Taylor's van start up and pull away very quickly. Even for this odd couple, this behavior was strange. Tara was now fully awake and confused because she had heard voices and talking in the basement the whole prior day. She decided to get up and go check in on her son. Walking down the stairs, she could see that the light was on. She opened the door but didn't see Shad anywhere. She called his name once, but there was no response. Confused, now wondering if he had left to go with Taylor, she turned and began walking back up the stairs. But then she noticed a bucket at the base of the stairs. It had a blanket on it and it just looked completely out of place. Deciding to investigate, she lifted up the blanket to see the head of her son staring right back at her. At 3 a.m. on February 23rd, 2022, the Green Bay police received a call from Tara. She was absolutely hysterical and hard to understand at first. It then dawned on the person taking the call what this woman was saying. After getting the details of what this poor mother had found were recorded, Tara then told them that Taylor had been with Shad in the basement and had spent the whole day there with him. The police did not waste any time and immediately went to her apartment. They were familiar with this location because of all the previous arrests. When they pulled up, they saw her van sitting right outside. They then went and pounded on her door, and she walked out of the apartment looking like she had just come out of a horror movie. She had blood all over her sweater and pants. Her arms were covered in scratches, and her hands were stained red. The police asked her if she knew why they were there, and she said, "For my warrant?" Yes, she had a warrant out for her arrest for something separate than this situation. Y'all, why was she free? Anywho, the police take her into custody and tell her that it is because of Shad. She chillingly laughs and tells them good luck with finding all the pieces of him. Police then search her van, and y'all, they found a crock pot in the back of her van full of human body parts, including legs and a foot. That must have been a very big crock pot. I'm just saying. After this find, the authorities go back to Shad's house and look through the basement. And what they find can only be described as a bloodbath. They not only found the remains of his head, but they also found his male organs were in the same bucket. They found several different knives in the room, all covered in bodily fluids. And then they found his torso in a storage tote. Ugh. It is baffling to me the things that police and people like this have to see. I hope they get amazing therapy after this and can ever sleep again. So, the police get her back and they begin questioning her. And these are the details she provided. About 5 minutes after they went into the basement together and did the substances, Shad then got out 2 metal silver chains. One that he had around his neck, and he gave one to her. She said these chains were like dog choke collars. Taylor said the couple regularly used this technique during their private acts in the past. She said that during their act, he then turned over and was laying face down on the bed. And it was then that she went crazy and began to choke him with the chain, and she did not stop even when he started coughing up blood. She said that she was enjoying it so much that she just couldn't stop. And she knew he was choking, but she blacked out in ecstasy. She said that she stayed there watching him and waiting for him to die. When his face turned purple and blood was coming out of his mouth, she knew he was dead. She knew she had already gone too far and didn't want to stop at that point. When she was relaying the events to the detectives, she asked if they knew what it was like to love something so much that you had to kill it. I'm sure that made them so sick to their stomach. Can you even imagine interviewing someone like this and hearing the things that this woman sitting in front of you is saying? Anyways, she continued on with her grotesque admission, telling them about her enjoyment of playing with his body, stating she first played with the victim's body for like 2 or 3 hours. She performed some things on his parts and then cut them off. Then she used knives from Shad's own mother's kitchen to decapitate and dismember him. She originally had planned on taking all of him with her, but then she got lazy and didn't. Those were her own words. She got lazy. So this woman is arrested, awaiting trial. You would think that someone in this situation would try, maybe think about trying to be on their best behavior. Well, not Miss Taylor Schabusiness, who is now 25. On February 14th this year, she was at court when she attacked her own defense attorney, Quinn Jolly. Y'all, a sheriff's deputy had to tackle her and was able to pin her to the ground. And this is in court, like judge, court, serious matters. And she attacked her own defense attorney. I can't with her. Obviously, that attorney was like, yeah, no, I'm out. Bye. She will now be represented by Christopher Folich. I might be pronouncing that wrong. If I am, I apologize. That's my best effort. She is currently being charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and third-degree SA for having fun and playing with it. She was evaluated and was found fit to stand trial in March of this year. The judge has set the case to start on July 24th, and you best believe I will be following this case. There are still so many things we do not know, and this is a case that I am very eager to see justice and watch it play out. What do y'all think about this? It's just insane. And again, like I started the video with, I believe that substances did have a lot to do with such a crazy act, but it also begs the question, did she just have evil in her? Was this something that she'd wanted to do for a long time? We may never know, but I would love to hear what you think about this. Please let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you as always for watching. I appreciate you. I will see you next time.